What you are looking at is a 1986 Toyota pickup truck with a small block Chevy engine swap. Coming back at you guys once again with another exclusive Craigslist find video. Take a look at this, y'all. What we have here is a 1986 Toyota pickup truck. The engine and transmission came out of a Chevy Monte Carlo. The owner had put this nice custom gauge cluster in the dash. The dash itself was kind of roached, but the cab had some upgrades. He had put the upgraded seats in it with the harnesses. There is the gas tank in the bed of the truck. The truck itself was lifted, I think, 9 inches and sitting on a newer pair of 35-inch tires. Now, I spent a lot of time underneath this truck taking some video because originally I was concerned about the condition of the rust on the frame and the rust on the body. But to be honest with you, the frame was in really good condition. And the bones of this truck were all really there. So what you see underneath the truck is what I saw when I was underneath the truck. And I don't necessarily think it's necessary to nitpick every little detail. But I mean, the guy had a new oil pan on the bottom of the block. And it was in good shape. Everything was in good shape given the year and how rare these trucks are to even find in this kind of condition. I was pretty impressed, I gotta say that. So while you're looking at what's underneath the truck, let me just add some commentary that this is one of those situations where if you come and you're ready to buy the truck, you basically get one shot at it. Because I talked to this guy who owned it, and it was him and his wife were managing the sale of this. And what they told me is that they got something like 200 responses after the first day of it being up on Craigslist. So there's a little bit of rust at the back on the bed at the seam, but that's not uncommon for these, and actually it was in great shape given what year it was. Now this guy had done a nice powder coating job on this engine, and one of the things I discovered once we took the truck for a drive was that the carburetor needed to be rebuilt with a new gasket because carburetor was actually leaking some gasoline. Now that was one of the reasons why I decided not to buy this truck, because I didn't feel like it was safe to drive it away with it leaking gasoline out of the carburetor. That's not a deal breaker for someone who owns a trailer and is ready to pick this thing up. And for a lot of guys who are planning on doing some four-wheeling, taking this thing primarily off-road, that was not a deal breaker at all. And I didn't have a trailer with me. I was really hoping to buy this truck, but it needed some things. It needed a new windshield. It needed a new windshield gasket. There was an exhaust leak, but for the price that this guy was asking, I'm certain that this truck is sold now, so I don't think he's going to mind, or anybody's going to mind, if I mention that the guy was only asking $6,500 for the truck. And to be honest, when it first listed, it was listed at $6,000, but he bumped it up to $65,000. I think he would have sold it for $6,000, maybe even less. I'm not sure. It was a situation where, the things had changed with his circumstance, that the truck wasn't as much of a project as he wanted to take on given the current situation. It was a really sweet truck, and man, I really thought about picking this up, but it just wasn't quite right for me at the time to take on this as a project. It needed a little more than I wanted to put into it, and for me, I'm kind of a Toyota guy. I mean, it's sweet to see the General Motors swap, but yeah, that thing's gonna be thirsty, man. And I kind of was looking for a 22R if I'm going to get a 4-wheel drive for a truck that's more for driving on the roads versus driving on the trails. So you find something like this, you got to be in your mind differentiating whether or not you're going to be spending most of your time on the roads or most of your time on the trails. And for the shape that this truck was in, without spending a ton of money to get it to another level, this would be a great trail truck. And for the price, man, I don't know if you could beat it, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.